1, 2, 3. Harold and Brad, Windy City Filmmakers. Harold and Brad, Windy City Filmmakers. Harold and Brad. Da, 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 da.
For 3, 2, 1. What's going on, y'all? Brad Stevens here for another edition of the Harold and Brad Windy City Filmmakers podcast. HD, what's going on, brother?
What's up, world? I'm happy to be here.
Great. We have a very special guest today. Chicago's very own James Reed is in the house. What's going on, man?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. What's going on?
Right. Good to have you. So the first question, what we always ask people is, what is your connection to Chicago and what kind of art do you create?
I was born and raised here, north side of Chicago.
Right.
And I'm a filmmaker.
Now we did Get a Job together back in the day. I think that's when we first met, I think, on Get a Job.
Yeah.
So like this is like a classic question for any indie filmmaker. What are some of the challenges of financing a film and actually getting a film distributed? What's some of the challenges you face?
I was blessed to have a mother who understood investing. And it's funny because I used to study finance like on my own and stuff. And my mother bought insurance. Right. And I'm just telling her, I was like, Ma, insurance is not an investment. That's waiting for somebody to die. She's like, be quiet, boy. I know what I'm doing. Right. And then when I came to her and told her I want to make a movie, she's like, okay, and she began to cancel some of my policies. Okay. And she was like, so this is money. This is my money, and I don't necessarily have to pay back myself. Right. And I was just like, oh, wow. So, I learned something. So my mother basically financed the film, but you were on the film with me. So I'm not sure if you were there at this time, but after the first 5 days, I had to replace an actor.
Okay, yeah.
And so this was supposed to be a 20-day shoot. And it was supposed to be a 15-day shoot.
Man, yeah.
That was the budget, and it turned into a 20. Man. So I had to get creative because like after the 15 days, we took a break for like 3 months. Yeah. And I had to figure out, how am I going to get this money? Right. And I prayed. I was like, God, I don't have any more money. I couldn't get anyone to give me any money. Right. I got some people, Facebook, stuff like that. Maybe send me $20, maybe send me $50, but not enough to finish 5 days worth of filming with the whole crew. I was able to come up with an idea of selling the premiere tickets to finish the movie. Right. So we were selling the premiere tickets in order to get the money to finish the movie.
I was there, and it seemed like the place was packed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was crazy because I didn't. That wasn't planned. Okay, so with the premiere, there was a lot of people there, and I'm thinking, oh, it's only gonna be like 300 people, maybe. Now the place held like 1,300. Man. So of course, I didn't get a videographer because I'm like, I'm not gonna look like a fool, because it's gonna be like 2 people. Yeah. It's gonna look like 2 people in there, with 300, and it holds 1,300. Right. And then I was on my way there, and Lil Rel called me. He was like, "Yeah, you coming?" And I was like, "Yeah, it don't open up till an hour." I'm like, we just stuck in traffic. We like down the street. He's like, well, people are already coming in. I'm just like, what? Wait a minute, why are they there that soon? Nice. And then it was like, we got there, and it was like a line around the corner. I was just like, whoa.
So talk about distribution for the project. How did that go?
Man. Okay, so listen, this was learning ground for me, because this was my first film. This was my first time writing a feature film, promoting all of this stuff. I remember after making the film, I thought, well, you know, the film is good. I love the film. Other people love the film. It's hilarious. I said, you know what? I'm going to iTunes and I'm going to make $1 million. But the thing is people were stargazers, you know, astrologers. They looking for stars. They like, well, who's in it?
Right.
And it was like, well, it doesn't matter who's in it. You know, it's good.
Put the needle on the record.
Now, I believe in the 2000s, you know, well, in the 90s, I would say, you could get away with that. You could make a film just because it was black and it was good and no one was in it. You can make a lot of money. But we made that film in 2010, you know, and we shot it in 2010. My time had passed, you know, for that. And it's something because Lil Rel gave it to Chris Spencer, who did The Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he was like, he finally watched it because he wouldn't watch it. He probably thought it was going to be, you know, a lot of independent films aren't really that good. You know, it's not quality or anything. And so it took him like 3 months to watch it. And Rel just kept asking him like, man, did you watch it? Did you watch it? Then he finally watched it and like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, he called him. He said, oh man, I love the film. You know, you guys did a good job. And Rel was like, so what should we do with the film? And Chris was like, put it in a film festival and watch the magic. And that was my first big mistake. I didn't put it in a film festival because I felt like, what do I need a film festival for? You know, this movie is good. You know, now keep in mind, I went to school in the 90s, you know, for film. So I'm thinking I still have the 90s mentality. You know, where, you know, you can make money with no one in it because everybody was looking for black content, you know, and I was wrong.
Oh, no doubt. But, you know, it's funny you say that because, like, you just see how how things changed up. Because, like, going back to the, maybe even the late 80s. I remember when Spike Lee dropped She's Gotta Have It, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it was something, and even before I knew anything about independent filmmaking, there was something about the rawness of the film and the fact that it's sense that, you know, you got this sense this dude made this film and it didn't have big Hollywood backing. And then, like you were saying, other movies in the 90s, like Just Another Girl on the IRT, one of my favorites, you know. Yeah. It didn't have buku stars, but was a great film. But now it's like the sense, as time passes on, it gets so competitive, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, technology makes it easier to make a film. So it makes it easier for a lot of crap to be out there, but also a lot of good films that may be hard to find those gems in the midst, man. That challenge.
Now I know that Lil Rel is bigger than life now. So is there a resurgence for the film, or is anything else happening with it right now?
Well, it's now on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, which is good because people can see it, but you don't make money like you did before with Amazon. I mean, it's like if Amazon was doing business how they did maybe a couple years back, you can make some good, I would really be able to make some money. But, you know, especially during, you know, COVID, where right now we're living in a time where content is king. It's not that way like now. You know, I was looking at the stats and it's like 60,000 minutes, you know, viewed, and it maybe been like a little bit over a week.
Right.
You know, and you would think, oh, that's some money, you know, but it really ain't no money when it's like they give you 90. The film is like 90 minutes, so you get like a couple of pennies.
Yeah.
For each hour. You know, so you know, it's right now. It's like a matter of showing people who I am, and you know, like getting out there.
It's gonna happen, man. Checks in the mail, brother. Checks in the mail. No, I always say that. So like we talked about this before too. What's the advantage? How important is it to be a writer as a director?
Let me take you back. Okay, I never wanted to write.
Okay.
I went to Columbia College, majoring in film and minoring in television.
Okay.
Now, this was my junior year, okay? So, first day of film class, I'm sitting in the front, I'm ready, you know, because I know this is what I'm called to do. I raised my hand, I said, when do we get to film?
Right.
They were like, okay, well, you're going to have to take the history of cinema and start naming all these boring classes. I was like, what? I was like, oh, no, I'm a junior. No more electives for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then that same day, I had my TV class. Went to my TV class, and it's like, don't take your coats off because you're going to be going to the TV cage. You're going to get a TV, a video camera. You're going to go out and you're going to shoot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, wow, you know, we get to shoot. And then, so, of course, me being young, I dropped film. And I just went head on for television. After I graduated in television, I might have took a screenwriting class, but I have paid attention because I was like, well, I'm just going to direct. You know, I don't have to write. So I'm in and out of my field, you know, like all of this time. And then, so I'm just like, well, man, why am I not doing what I really want to do? And the answer came, it's like, you don't have a script. And I'm like, I don't have a script. What should I do?
Right.
And the answer came again, write it. I was like, oh,
no doubt.
God,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not trying to write,
Right.
you know, but my back was against the wall because it was like, how do you tell your son to chase his dreams if you're not really chasing yours because you're allowing something to hold you back?
True.
So I studied screenwriting for a year, and then I wrote Get a Job. And it's something because the only reason why I'm a director is because I became a writer first.
So as a screenwriter, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Do you start off with a log line? Do you have a character in mind?
Okay, well, this is how I did with Get a Job. I had an idea. I was trying to see, I had an idea for a different movie. But with Get a Job, it was like, I heard two women talking. And one woman said to the other, I wouldn't give a man on the street a penny. And so she was like, because a man could always get a job. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's kind of ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what a person is going through. And so that just made my mind start going. And I was like, I want to write a movie on how hard it is to get a job.
Yeah.
And in that, because of, studying, I knew that I had to have somebody pursuing something, and, I knew I had to have a theme and stuff like that. So I started working the idea, like, well, what should I do if the guy wants a job? And I was like, well, why isn't he getting a job? So I had to answer that question. Yeah. And I was like, and I came up with the idea coming from an entrepreneur family full of entrepreneurs. I was like, well, maybe he's not meant to have a job. So I started exploring that idea, and that's how I came up with that. And I said, well, it's going to be a comedy, so what should it be? And I was like, why don't I do it about two comedians? And the two comedians that I wanted to work with was Ricky Smiley and Lavelle Crawford. Okay. But I had a friend of mine kept telling me, just go local. He's like, just go local. And then it was hard for me to get in contact with Ricky. So I just decided to go local. I just came up with the idea. Well, they were a big inspiration because it was kind of easy for me to see them visually as characters.
Right.
And dialogue is like, it's like really easy for me. So, you know, I just went that way. You know, I just focused in on them and wrote down my inciting incident and my midpoint and turning points and stuff like that. Just
no doubt.
It just went to it from there.
Ooh la la. Yeah.